I've played shows at Common Grounds in July when the air condition was broken, and I think I'm sweating more now. Thank you. Okay, so I wrote out some things to say. I started playing guitar when I was 8 years old, and never really had any doubt about what I wanted to do with my life. I always knew I wanted to be a musician and that I wanted to be in a band and tour the world. I also knew from a really young age that there was something different about me that I didn't quite understand, and this was a thing I was afraid for anyone to find out about for fear of ridicule or rejection or worse. When I was 12, my parents divorced and I moved with my mom and brother to South Florida because that's where my grandma lived, and most everyone else's grandma. As an angsty young teenager, I got into punk rock, and when you're a punk rocker living in South Florida, all directions point to Gainesville. So I dropped out of high school when I was a sophomore, and 2 years later, when I was 18, I moved to town. The music scene drew me here, but what also brought me was the community and the sense that I had found some place that I would fit in. In Gainesville, I found a community of activists and artists and total freaks and weirdos that I wanted to belong to. When I came to Gainesville with a dream of playing music, I had no idea how to actualize that dream. And if it were not for the community here, I don't think I would have ever been able to connect those dots. As it turns out, you do not need to be enrolled in UF or Santa Fe to receive a world-class education in Gainesville. I learned the true meaning of DIY and activism, how to marry music and a message through places like the Civic Media Center and people like Joe Porter. DIY does not mean do it yourself. It means it will be better if we do it together. I learned how to be a performer by going to shows and watching local bands play at places like Wayward Council and the Ark Warehouse and Common Grounds. And for the record, I did play at the original Hardback too. My education in how to make records was listening to the music that No Idea Records was putting out and then booking time with Rob McGregor at Golden Tone Studio. I learned how to tour by seeing bands like Hot Water Music and Less Than Jake do it. I learned how to work on cars and even got my GED through the Dignity Project down on Depot Road. And I had time to learn all this because of flexible employment at the top restaurant. My job checking IDs at the door was always waiting for me when I came back from the road. So Gainesville showed me the path I wanted to take, and it gave me the means. But unfortunately, that path led me away from Florida. The perspectives of distance and time taught me two final lessons. Before coming out as transgender back in 2012, one of my biggest fears was being rejected by this community. I have now learned just how misplaced my fears were. I never imagined a moment like this. This is so completely surreal. Lastly, I had to leave Gainesville to learn just how lucky I was to ever be here at all. What I didn't realize back then was that those years were the best of my life, and that I would never find friends and community like that which I found here in Gainesville. I've traveled the world over, and I know for certain what a truly special place Gainesville is, and I know that you all realize that too. So thank you for everything that you've taught me over the years, Gainesville. Thank you for giving me a place to belong when I was just a confused punk kid. Thank you for being a beacon of hope in Florida. Thank you for giving me a place that I always look forward to returning to, and thank you for this honor. Now let's fest.